It's winter for sure,
wow.
but take a look at this. It's not a snowstorm, it's a wind and cold storm. Look at this, the flags, some of the street signs. This is on Meridian Street here, down this morning from the brutal wind and cold. It is not a morning for a first back to work day after the holidays, but you got to get through it. Welcome in here to 13 Sunrise at 6 o'clock. I'm Julia, along with Matt. Lindsay, she's here as well, tracking the traffic, and Sam in for Julia. So it's back on, and winter has come back as well.
Winter is back. It was crazy how warm it was yesterday. A nice end to the weekend, but now it's Monday morning in full force.
Winter was on a holiday break,
Yeah.
I think, for a little bit. I think it's unfair. It takes us forever to warm up. Right?
Yes.
And then the cold air just
So fast.
It's so fast. We were at 66 yesterday. That was a record high. That's why we had some severe weather across the state. You might have been watching the Colts game and wondering, tornado
It
watch?
was so crazy.
It was. We had a line sweep through with a lot of gusty winds. We were tracking it on WTHR Plus and right here on Channel 13. There could be some branches down in spots, but damage reports are low. We did have a report coming in from Linton. That would be far western Greene County, so you're well south and west of Indianapolis. A little bit of damage there at one of the buildings in downtown. Could be some wind. Can never rule out maybe a quick gustnado or something like that. National Weather Service may take a closer look at that. In the meantime, it kind of just feels like you're inside some sort of gustnado out there with the wind gusts that are up to 40 to 50 miles per hour. It is so cold and breezy. You're looking live downtown where we're getting snow flurries right now with temperatures dropping. We're now down to 20. I think we could get down to the upper teens here shortly. Winds are sustained at 29 miles per hour. Gusts are over 40. So the colder air continues to move in. We had some 30s earlier this morning. That's not the case anymore. Down to 26 in Richmond. Teens farther to the north is now 19. That's all we're doing this morning in Greencastle. And it feels like it's -5 around the campus of Purdue, West Lafayette and Lafayette, -5 in Kokomo. Feels like it's only 2 degrees right now in Indianapolis. Now you got to add in some snow showers. We'll be tracking these for you. We've got a couple bigger bursts, especially right over Cicero to Arcadia. This would be near Morris, Sheridan. We're watching a quick burst of some snow. Scattered snow showers across central Indiana. A little bit heavier for just a moment from Coatesville eastbound to the Plainfield area. So we'll watch out for on and off snow showers and maybe a couple slick spots. I know, Lindsay, you're tracking any kind of slick spots, but you also have an accident you're tracking this morning.
That's right. Yeah, we're going to head back down to the south side of town. This is where we've got a crash on 65 in the northbound direction, and unfortunately it is in the center lane, and that does tend to cause some additional issues as everyone's kind of merging around that situation. So this is coming up 65 northbound, kind of right in between that Edgewood Avenue bridge and as you are approaching those I-465 ramps. So this is where the scene of the crash is, kind of everybody merging over into those 2 right travel lanes, and leading up to the scene of that crash is where we are starting to see some slow travel right now because of that. That delay is really starting to build. That 11-minute slowdown extends from Southport Road going north as you approach those I-465 ramps. So until we can get 1 or 2 of those travel lanes back open, I do anticipate that delay continuing to grow. So we'll keep you posted from the south side.
Lindsay, thank you. Well, the Colts, they could not pull off a win over the Jags yesterday.
In fact, this is the 6th straight loss for the Colts. They started strong, but defense wasn't able to keep up with the Jags. Colts' Phillip Rivers played quite the game, though. The final score in this one ended up being 23-17.
So the team will not have a postseason appearance, as we knew on Saturday when they were knocked out when the Texans won over the Chargers. Dominic Miranda wraps up the final home game of the season, coming up for you this morning at 6:45 in the Colts wake-up call. And Monday morning travel could be met with some slick spots from potential flash freezing. Lindsay already following a couple incidents.
That wind is enough to knock you off the road if you're not careful. This quick change in weather could also be impacting flights, especially last-minute travel, people trying to get home for the holidays. Anna Chalker joins us live this morning at the airport. Anna, you've been monitoring several delays already today. How's it looking now?
Well, ladies, I want to let you know we have a new delay that was just added to our list, so we're going to take you to the big board first this morning. So the main ones we were looking at: Chicago, Orlando, and Seattle. Those were the big ones. Our newest one, a 6:30 flight, Newark. That's the newest delay that we've seen. A lot of the arrivals are actually early this morning. That is a good sign, but a lot of these departures, those are the delays that we're going to be seeing. Again, those main four, so if you've got one of those, just make sure you're prepared. I'll tell you, it's been moving pretty fast, the lines right now. The biggest check-in line we've seen, Delta here. You can see we're going to move past real fast to these lines. I mean, this has been the busiest one all morning long. American and Southwest, they were pretty quick on their lines, but this has been a pretty busy spot. Delta here this morning, so if you have a Delta flight and you're getting ready to head out, I would suggest maybe heading out sooner than later because this is starting to get a little busier right now. But I will tell you, once they're getting through the concourse to the TSA gates, those lines, even though they are a bit long, depending on how long you want to stay in for. They're moving through pretty quickly, just a few minutes for each traveler right now. But again, this is kind of the end of that holiday season, the travel season going through the new year. A lot of people heading home, back home for the new year. So again, we know a lot of delays could be popping up within the next few minutes. We always say that 6 to 7 range in the mornings. That's when more of those delays tend to pop up, when there are more flights coming on. But I will tell you, a lot of the people here that are traveling this morning, they're in a lot of cream and crimson. Those are our Hoosier fans heading out for the Rose Bowl. They're getting out now and early, and they're ready for it. We've got some passionate fans coming up. We want to show you at 6:30 that are generational Hoosier fans. They've been waiting since the first Rose Bowl appearance in 1968. So we'll be checking in with them in a few minutes.
All right, well, they will also be warmer when they get to their destination as well. Thanks, Anna.
Your time is now 6:06. We have an update for you this morning on a shooting on Indy's southeast side.
Yeah, sadly, we've learned this morning the woman injured has now died. So this happened around 2 o'clock yesterday afternoon. IMPD tells us they were called to this home on Meadowbend Lane. This is near Shelbyville Road and East Stop 11. Police say a family disturbance led to gunfire. The woman was shot and taken to the hospital in critical condition.
And again, Metro Police tell us she has since died. Officers say they were able to track down the vehicle that took off from that house. They say the driver is a suspect and remains in custody this morning. Police also stressing a message we have heard before, that these tragedies are avoidable.
Violence of any kind is never a solution. It doesn't solve a problem, it doesn't resolve the conflict, and it comes with a lifetime of consequences. This is a tragic incident, and this family is going to be impacted for the rest of their lives, and it didn't have to happen.
Now, even though they say this was a family disturbance of some kind, if you have any information about what happened, you're asked to call police or Crime Stoppers.
And this morning, police in Anderson tell us they're investigating the shooting death of a 17-year-old girl, and it's her mom accused of firing the gun. This happened on West 38th Street in Anderson yesterday morning. Officers arrived at that house and found the girl shot. She died later in the hospital. Now, police say no witnesses heard anything before the gunshot. That's what actually woke them up. The victim's mother is in police custody. We'll, of course, keep you updated on this devastating story as we learn more.
At the State House, Indiana lawmakers are considering a bill aimed at cracking down on youth gun violence. Senate Bill 62 would allow some juveniles caught illegally carrying a gun to be waived into adult court.
The bill also increases penalties for gun crimes committed near schools or on school buses.
I also think that it's a possibility that we could get some young people who do not realize the gravity or the depth of what they're doing and having guns, and get into a situation where they are tried as adults and their life could be over for that.
That's Pastor Jackson, and he says prevention really is key here, urging lawmakers to partner with churches, nonprofits, and parents to limit kids' access to guns, but especially education and educating them on the dangers of guns. And this morning, we're also learning about reports of a possible active shooter at Castleton Square Mall on Saturday.
Police tell us they got that call. They went to the mall, but that's when they tell us this was all just a misunderstanding. Police say it started when several juveniles were running around the mall, and they say that led to people sharing false information, prompting a large response from officers as a precaution.
Now, IMPD is warning that misinformation on social media can obviously lead to unnecessary fear. So police say, again, no gunshots went off and no threats were made at the mall this weekend.
Your time is 6:10. An Indiana man initially charged with murder in the shooting death of an Indianapolis teen at Kentucky State University is now the victim of a separate case.
Yeah, this is kind of bizarre. Prosecutors tell us the teen's parents are the ones facing criminal charges here after allegedly harassing the shooter online. Now, a grand jury recently chose not to indict Jacob Bard, ruling he actually acted in self-defense when he shot Dejon Fox Jr. on the campus of Kentucky State University 2 weeks ago. Court documents now reveal investigators say Fox's parents have posted a series of threatening messages on social media directed at Bard and his family. One comment, "You don't know what you took from me, but you will feel the same hurt I feel." Prosecutors say that message was posted by the victim's father, Dejon Fox Sr., December 10th. And then Fox Jr.'s mother wrote, "I want his son dead, just like mine." Now, court documents do reveal another threatening post followed days later.
In the meantime, Bard's defense attorney says police are now providing heightened security for him and his family. His family is now living at an undisclosed location for the foreseeable future. Fox Sr. is facing a felony charge of intimidation, and attorneys say the goal now is for Bard to return to work and live without fear of his safety.